Welcome to the Gen X Pole Arts Podcast, Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich, the founder of Gen X Pole Arts. I am happy to be launching this podcast where we are going to be celebrating the strength, resilience, and potential of women over 40 in the vibrant world of pole dance. I'm excited to embark on this empowering journey with you guys. And each week, we will connect with inspiring women who are redefining what it means to thrive in their 40s and beyond. From incredible stories of personal transformation to tips on building strength and confidence, we'll explore the boundless possibilities that pole dancing offers for self-expression and empowerment. Whether you're a seasoned dancer or just curious about the journey, there's a place for you here. So grab a cup of coffee, a sparkling water, whatever turns you on, and get comfortable. Let's celebrate the incredible power of women who are embracing their passions and pushing boundaries at every age. And don't forget to subscribe and join our community on social media and sign up for the 15-day pole dance challenge if you haven't done so already. All right, now let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to episode 30 of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I'm Zen. You guys also know me as Nancy, and I'm really happy to be here again for the 30th time. These episodes are flying, y'all. It's really exciting to me to come up with new ideas for guests every week. I have a long list of people waiting to be guests on the pod. So stay tuned because I think as we get into the autumn months, we're going to have some really interesting things to talk about. So thank you for being here. I couldn't do this if you weren't continuing to listen and share. And speaking of sharing, I did a really special episode with a very close friend of mine who I've known for more than a decade. Her name is Shauna Pereira, and she is not a pole dancer, but she is somebody who is really important to me, has shared a lot of things with me and hard times with me, and we support each other emotionally as we go through the ups and downs of life. And Shauna needs a kidney donor, like now, today. And so if you take a listen to that episode, which I think is episode number 28, you can hear her story, which is remarkable. It's super inspirational. She's already had a heart and kidney transplant, and now she needs a kidney some years after the first transplant. So take a listen to that. And even if you aren't called to be a kidney donor, it would be great if you could share that episode, because the more people who we reach, the greater chance there is that Shauna is going to find the kidney that she needs in order to keep on living. Y'all, it's that serious. And anything I can do to help her, I am set to do that. So take a listen to the episode, or if you don't have time to listen to it, at least just share it across your network, your social media, so that maybe other people can take a listen and be moved to be tested, see if they might be a match. There's links in the show notes for that episode and more information in the conversation itself about what it entails. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there one more time. But what I thought I would talk about today, and I haven't done a solo episode in, gosh, I don't know. It's been a while, right? We've just had guest after guest after guest, and I am so grateful to all of these amazing people who have been sharing their time and their stories and their energy with me and with us all. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to do a solo episode in some time. So here I am. Did you miss me? Probably not, but pretend you did. I'm going to pretend that you did because, I want a little ego boost. No, seriously, it helps me to keep going because I love creating the podcast, but sometimes I do think, does anybody really care? Is anybody really listening? I hope what I'm doing is meaningful and adding some value to the lives of the people who are listening in some small, small way. But anyway, today I was thinking back to the last few episodes, which I really enjoyed. But there's one thing that I spoke about with Moni Sky, or Lord Moni Sky, as she is known on her Instagram. And it stuck with me so much that I've been talking about friends, talking about it with friends offline, as we are all, I feel like right now it's kind of a transitional time in the year as summer is kind of coming to a close. People are going back to school, back to work, taking vacations, wrapping things up, and heading into autumn. And I cannot believe that it's already that time of year, right? Years go by so fast. But in any case, so talking about it with people, and I just thought I would explore it a little bit here. And hopefully you all will comment and let me know what you think about it. But one of the things we talked about that was really poignant was the idea of progress and stagnation as you are learning and progressing in pole. And I think that this probably is something that holds true no matter what you're doing, whether it's pole dancing, regular dancing, going to the gym, learning an instrument, etc. Anytime you're taking on a new endeavor and learning something new, especially as an older adult, um, we compare our progress and we kind of rate ourselves and what we're doing compared to other people. And it's easy to become discouraged and make a lot of excuses as to why we aren't keeping up or why we aren't getting ahead or progressing. This is true in career too. Um, but what she said to me was she felt like and I'm paraphrasing, so I'm sorry, Moni Sky, if this isn't exactly what you said, but this is what I interpreted and what I took away from it. But it was about going to classes and feeling like time and again she just wasn't able to get it, whatever was being taught by the instructor, and feeling like not able to complete a trick or a shape didn't look right on her body, and just feeling bad, like she was bad at it. And I think she even said, I was so bad at it. And it wasn't until she went off on her own and started working on things in the studio by herself that felt good on her body and looked good on her body. And that's when she really came into her own and found her style and her strengths. And then once she started working from a place of strength, um, progress occurred. So when I've been thinking about that, what it means to me is, and as an instructor as well, right? We instructors tend to teach things that we enjoy doing, that look good on us, that feel good on us, right? But everybody's body is different. And by that I mean, and I've talked about this in past episodes also, like your proportions, like how long is your torso in relation to your legs? How long are your arms in relation to your torso? What kind of rotation do you have in your shoulders? Where is your strength? Is it upper body strength, lower body strength, grip? How flexible is your spine? How open are your hips, right? So some of these things are within our control. Through training we can improve or increase range of motion and flexibility, and of course strength. But some things we don't have any control over. And I also think that as we get older and our bodies adjust to repetitive activities that we do, whether that's sitting all day or if you're a runner, which creates like shortened hamstrings, tight hips, blah, blah, blah. It takes a lot of time and effort to change some things that maybe when you're younger are more easily malleable, right? So it comes down to, well, how much do I want to focus on the things I can do that my body is really good at doing and adapted for, versus how much time and energy do I want to put into working on changing my body so that I can do things that don't come easy just so I can do the things they're teaching in classes. So I'll say that again. I can either invest my time and energy in perfecting and improving and building on the things that feel good in my body, that my body is capable of doing in its current state, maybe with a little bit of extra strengthening and stretching, right? Or I can put my time and energy into increasing my strength significantly and working on my range of motion and flexibility so that I have a better chance of executing the things that are being taught in classes that don't come easy to me or that I currently are unattainable in the current state of my body. So when I think about that, I, I think that, option A speaks to me. Like there are things that to me are, I think are, I hate to say easy because none of it is easy, but they're attainable to me. I don't struggle, right? And some of those things other people see me do and they're like, oh my God, I can never do that. You're so strong, right? So I have strong strength in my upper body. But I don't necessarily have strength in certain grips, depending on position, arm positioning and hand positioning on the pole. And I know that. So if I spend time in the studio working on those things that I am capable of today and building on them, going for tricks and shapes in the direction of those things that work for me versus just trying to achieve things that are being taught in classes, regardless of my current level of ability, flexibility, shoulder rotation, spinal flexion, etc. I'm going to get a lot farther. It's going to feel more rewarding to watch my progress if I focus on things that I can do currently. Whether I do them beautifully, technically perfect, that's remains to be seen. But those are the parts that I can work on because at least I know I can attain these shapes or I can hold this shape or I can do this spin, right? Versus ballerina, for example, is a nemesis of mine. I just don't have the rotation in my upper back and shoulder to get that overhead, like twisted kind of grip and to get my hips around the pole in that way. And then the external rotation on my hip, I have, but then where I come into a point of, I don't know what's the right word, where I can't do it is then from that external rotation bending my knee and it's almost like additional rotation of my from my knee to my ankle to get it wrapped around that pole, right? And part of that is because I don't have the spinal flexion to position my spine the right way in front of and wrapping around the pole so that my leg can open and then turn around. And I've been trying to do this for years and I've worked on the flexibility of my shoulders and my spine and my hips to try to get into it, and for whatever reason for me it's just I just cannot get into it. So why do I keep trying? Like there's no rule book in pole that says you have to do a ballerina or you have to do a handspring or you have to do I don't know, an archer or a dragon tail. Like you can do what you want. You could do what works for you and become expert and master those moves and combos that work for you and continue to grow. It's not like you just say, well, I do this and that's all I do, but it's like, well, I do these groups of things that require me to have this kind of strength, this kind of flexibility, this kind of rotation or stamina. And then there's things over here that require different types of movement that I'm just not going to do. It's the same thing with choreo. Like there's low flow, there's hard style, there's fast, there's slow and slinky, right? So maybe the fast twitch muscle fibers are not firing, especially as we get older. I find going faster to get harder and harder, right? So it's okay to skip that kind of hard style, fast style, and lean more towards the slow and slinky or sensual or more floor work, that is more ooey gooey, right, than being really, really quick and bouncy, which I love to do. But also I have to take into consideration limitations like what's the health status of my knees and my other joints currently? Does it feel better to be rolling around and slinking around on the floor like Firebird, right? Who she was on an early episode. Or do I want to be doing something more dynamic on the pole and stay off of the floor? So I think that it's good to take many different styles of classes and different instructors and find the ones that feel good for you, that feel like they're well suited for your current state, physical state of being, whether it's joint health or flexibility or strength, etc. And learn to focus in that area. And if you get to the point where you don't really need to have an instructor guiding you all the time, then you go to open pole or you rent studio time or you work on your home pole and you work on those things that you've realized work for you and feel good on you and look good on you, and build from there. And I think it has to be a personalized journey if you want to be successful and feel good about what you're doing on pole. And there are teachers who I love, but I know that when I go to their classes, I am probably going to fail at least 75% of what it is they're teaching. But I go in knowing that now, right? And I mean, not just now after this conversation with Lord Moni Sky, but I mean, at this point in my pole journey, I am aware of what things seem to come more naturally to me and what things are very laborious, I guess. And if I'm feeling adventurous and I want a challenge, I will go try and do those other things, but I don't get, or I try not to get down on myself when I am not able to flawlessly execute whatever is being taught in class that day, because I'm going there with the mindset of, okay, this is a growth class for me. This is an exploration of, has the condition of my body changed at all in the past like month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is. Like, I couldn't really get this before. Maybe through all the things I've been working on, I can get it today. So that's a very different mindset than going to work with an instructor who knows my body and understands what I'm working with and can modify for me or give me something that she knows or he knows is going to be achievable. Versus also option three is when I'm working by myself. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there because I think it's really easy for us as pole dancers and as women who are maybe older than some other people in class and even older than most of our instructors to start to judge ourselves and our capability based on how we do in a class. And I think we have to keep everything in perspective. Like, not every class, the content of every class is not designed for everybody or for every dancer. And that's okay. And it's important for us to recognize our strengths and to celebrate them by focusing on them and building upon them, and then challenge ourselves by investigating and exploring our areas of quote unquote weakness to just keep pushing ourselves. And sometimes we'll be surprised when things start opening up or changing. And then we can move different shapes and movements from the quote weakness side to the strength side over time. But it by no means should be the measure by which we determine um, our success as pole dancers, as movers, because in the end, it should all be fun. So if you're having fun, if we're having fun, and if we feel like we're learning about ourselves each time we step into or out of the studio, then that is success, right? We're getting stronger. We're maintaining our strength. We're maintaining our flexibility. We're in community with others, and we keep going. And that's the goal. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk once again. I love you guys. Thank you for following the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sharing the podcast. I will say there is the second Newburgh workshop, which will be beginner pole and movement workshop coming up in Newburgh, New York on October 12th. So stay tuned for details on how to sign up for that if you're in the upstate New York or Connecticut area. I'm also working on a few other workshops coming up, just securing dates and locations. So stay tuned. I love you guys. Keep moving, keep being awesome, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, powered by Gen X Pole Arts. I hope you feel inspired by the incredible stories of strength and resilience that we shared today. Remember, it's never too late to embrace your potential and unleash your passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please, I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave me a review. Your support really helps me to continue to uplift and empower women over 40 in our pole dance community and beyond. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your stories and share in your journey. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and remember that your strength knows no age.